Residents in KZN are being urged to stay vigilant, severe weather conditions persisting in that province. The SA Weather Service issuing multiple warnings for severe thunderstorms with forecasts of heavy downpours, hail and excessive lightning across large parts of the province. The affected areas include Durban, Nkandla and Newcastle. Let's get to the latest from our reporter. Silethiwe Ndlovu is live to us in Durban this morning. Silethiwe, good morning. It's a province that has battled for years now to try and recover from weather like this, and it just seems that every time KZN starts to rebuild, and particular areas start to rebuild, we see another resurgence of this type of weather. What can you tell us this morning?
Thankfully, Michelle, from the weather last night, there were no damages that were reported, but we'll actually get a better sense of that in a few minutes when we bring in the spokesperson from the KZN KZN department. But we know that the Department of KZN here in the province and the South African Weather Services are still urging residents to heed those weather warnings. I'm going to bring him into the conversation now. Thank you very much for your time. I want to start off by talking about perhaps the weather warnings for today. Where are we in terms of those warnings?
Good morning to you and good morning to the viewers at home. Lele, we've got a weather warning that has been issued by the Weather Service for the northern parts of the province. These are areas under the Nkandla district, parts of Zululand and parts of Umzinyathi. Specifically, this warning is for severe thunderstorms, meaning that these areas could experience what we experienced yesterday. This weather warning, though, is a level 1 weather warning. Our teams in those areas have been alerted and they are closely monitoring the situation.
And I want to talk about yesterday. Any damages, hopefully none, but any damages when you're looking at road infrastructure and perhaps any homes? Is everyone safe at this point? I know I asked that question because we still have those 2 people in New Hanover that are still missing.
Yes, yesterday's storm was quite ferocious. It impacted large parts of the province. We have checked with our disaster management teams who are on the ground. We can report that within the Amajuba district, in the area of Utrecht, in the Amatlangeni municipality, we had a couple of homes or houses that were badly damaged. Some collapsed as a result of the severe weather we experienced yesterday. Remember, we had hail, heavy rains as that, but also in a number of parts as well, there was electricity outages that were caused by these storms. Our teams were on the ground cutting up those trees and clearing the way just to ensure that communities can access them safely.
And do those teams remain on high alert even for today?
Yes, well, across the province, the MEC for KZN, Reverend Silethiwe Ndlovu, has placed our teams on high alert, as we know that we're in our rainy season and the ground as well is well saturated with water, meaning that the risk of flooding is still very high in a number of areas. The MEC has also called upon our communities to continue to be vigilant.
That was actually going to be my last question to you. Of course, you have reminded everyone to continue to heed those weather warnings, but also particularly when you look at people that have their houses close to waterways.
Yes, one of the biggest challenges we are facing is that there are people who have built their houses close to in floodplains or close to rivers. This is very dangerous, and the department is working closely with Amakosi, Izinduna municipalities to ensure that we find a sustainable way to remove those people from those areas as they are placing their own lives and that of their families.
And just the last one, a bit of reluctance, of course, from those people when you talk about moving them from those different areas.
Well, there is a reluctance and that we've seen happening, but what is at stake here is human life, and the department is really keen on finding a practical solution for those areas and also ensuring that no one settles or builds within these areas, because at times they become vacant, but they are vacant because they are so dangerous and so volatile.
Senzele, thank you very much for your time this morning. That's Senzele Mzila, the spokesperson for the Department of KZN here in the province, Michelle. As you heard from that conversation, teams remain on high alert due to the weather warnings that have been issued, but also reminding everyone to heed those weather warnings, as we do know, of course, that the South African Weather Services has released more warnings even for today.